Oh, hold on. Wait a second. Where are you? There you are. And there you are. Hello.
Ho.
Hello.
Ho. Ho.
Oh.
Ho.
Uh-oh.
Ho.
It's this. This is
Ho.
happening.
Ho. Ssnotwasscall.
Ssnotwasscall, but
Ssnotwasscall.
it was close. That's close enough. Ssnotwasscall, but
Ssnotwasscall.
Ssnotwasscall, but that's close enough.
Snow.
Yeah,
Snow.
mm-hmm.
Snow.
And this is the whole thing, guys. It's just
Snow.
yep.
Co.
Yeah. And improv. So how are things? How are you and your things?
My things are injured. The reason I have a sweatshirt on is I'm wearing the clothes I've been in for the last day and a half because I have a broken rib, and it is very difficult to do anything with a broken rib. In case anyone asks you,
Okay.
it is
Is there a
difficult.
story behind that?
There is a story behind it. Would you like to hear the story? Okay, good. So
Nah.
anyway, about Wakanda Forever.
No, what happened? What happened to your body?
Last Saturday, I went to a show. Everything was fine. I was getting ready to leave, and then a dear friend of mine showed up who was half my age and very enthusiastic, and we're very huggy. And this person and I hugged, but for some reason, this person decided this time, and only this time, to pick me up and shake me like a rag doll.
Oh, good.
And it turns out once you turn 50, your bones are kindling. And I'm just and I had like a sharp pain on my ride home. And 2 days later, I'm like, I better go to the doctor. And they're like, yep, sounds like a fractured rib. And they're like, yep, you have a fractured rib. So, and it hurts like a motherfucker.
And what do you do about that?
Nothing. Suffer and wait 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh my God! Because like you can't put a cast on it.
Don't sleep on that side. Oh God, don't sleep on that side.
Don't take a deep breath.
Actually, that's the real bite. You have to, because if you don't make sure to inflate your lungs, you could get a collapsed lung and or pneumonia. And
that's like finding out that one of the symptoms like of Parkinson's disease is hallucinations. You see phantoms. You see people that aren't there, and you have
Is that for real?
You have voices. Yes. So like on top
on top of this, I have Parkinson's.
I guess so. I just don't go on WebMD.
No, I know to stay away from those things. I will say the kicker to the story is this dear wonderful friend of mine is named Emma. She is a lovely girl who is my height and is country strong. And the problem is when you're friends with people half your age, sometimes they think you're like springy and bendy like they are. And that conversation, I felt so bad when I called her. I'm like, I'm not going to text you this. And I called her. I'm like, okay, you're on the phone. I want you to know I'm not angry. And then I just sent her the diagnosis. She's like,
boy.
Oh my God. I'm like, yeah, I know you didn't mean to. Now, this is like one of my favorite people, total sweetheart, like friend of the family, you know. I know some people who do it on purpose, but she is not one of them.
So,
the running joke with her though now is she's the one, her family runs this thing called The Gathering, which is this great local festival I've done for years here. And I said, I'll tell you one thing. She said, what's that? I said, I bet I'm not carrying my gear at The Gathering anymore, am I? And she's like, no, you are not. And I'm like, we don't even have to tell people. It's like, hey, why are you grabbing Chris's gear? No reason. I just want to be helpful, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the transaction. I was going to say, because you have to break one of her ribs now.
I don't think it works that way, but
works
there's
that
always there's always time. It's
And
not
you know what
called
we
that.
always say about time?
What's that?
It's a flat circle.
Remains undefeated. Time is a flat circle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's much worse. Oh,
We
ow,
always say
ow,
that.
oh, ow, ow, oh, ow, ow. Okay, wait. Ow. Okay. Yeah. So there's that. So I've been living with that since what's today? Sunday?
Yes.
So 8 days now. And I have another 3 to 5 weeks of this.
Fuck.
Yeah. I'm
Do you have
taking
any pain meds?
Sadly, the normal pain meds they do, just lucky me, the particular thing that they'd normally give you, it doesn't have any effect on me. It doesn't even like feel good. It just passes right through. So honestly, it's ibuprofen or booze. So
Yeah.
can't do both. But
Well,
so,
I mean, you can. It's
You
just like your
can.
blood gets really thin, and you may have like liver or kidney failure. But
the-
you know, just if that's something you're willing to.
as to be that guy and quote my own fucking song, I don't mind the pain, it's the inconvenience.
Yeah. Honestly, that is how I felt most times. I'm like sick or injured or something, and I have to not do a thing. It's just like if it wasn't getting in the way of
Yeah.
trying to do other things,
The worst of it,
I could put up with it.
The worst of it is trying to sleep, because you can't really lay on your side when
You can't
part
do
of your side is broken. Your side is basically broken.
It's out of order.
It's
50%
you're out
of
of
you.
order. This whole rib cage is out of order. Ow, ow. I did almost play a show last night. Like, I was set to go. Something else happened that required me to stay home, and I'm like, well, if that's what I have to do, oh, thank fuck. Because I was ready. I had like my gear to the side, and I was like, I had a foldy chair I was taking with me because I had been practicing all week, and I'm like, okay, I can still sing and play to whatever degree I could do it before the injury. So I was never, I never had that strong of a fastball, as far as the singing voice goes. So it's not like I was pushing a lot of air before.
Yeah.
So yeah. The really bad part was going to Pittsburgh on Thursday night, because I was then sleeping in what is normally a wonderful hotel bed, but it's very springy and like pillowy. And there was no way to find safe purchase, so I would sleep in agony for about 3 hours and then literally pace for like 4. So apparently I started to lose it. Like, I started like leaving the room just in a rage, just so I wouldn't like scream at my favorite people. I was just brah, and then just leave for a while and come back.
Yeah. That sounds fun. So you've been having a good time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
good.
not as much fun as you're having, I'm sure, but still.
Oh, well, no one out pizzas the Hut.
Yeah. Although I will say there were many wonderful things about Pittsburgh. I enjoyed my
All
time
those
there.
bridges.
There are a few,
How about that
bridges.
one way you come in through Pittsburgh? Do you come in through the mountain or do you come the other way?
We have come in through the mountain. I think
Yeah,
we came
that
in
way
the-
sucks.
I didn't mind it. You mean
It
the
was
one where
very-
you literally go through the mountain?
I mean, that part, theoretically, that is cool. But it's a nice view when you drive into the city. But it's a fucking rat king of like exits and freeways converging. There's this bit on 395 where it's 395 and
I know exactly
like
where you're talking
295
about.
and some shit.
Yeah.
And it's fucked. It's fucked. It's like right when you're about to go into Virginia.
And by the way, is this where you should put like a do not Google warning as far as Rat King goes?
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I was
Or is it
have-
King Rat?
No, it's Rat King.
Is it Rat King?
Yeah, King Rat is my favorite Stan Lee deserted pitch for a superhero. He's the king of all the rats. Excelsior, and it's like, Stan, take a nap. I know it's the 70s, but take a nap, please.
I just watched the Kevin Smith documentary Clerk. It was quite good.
Huh.
I enjoyed it very much. I like his movies. I love him. Like I've listened to hundreds of hours of him on podcasts, and I'm very entertained. Oh, I loved Chasing Amy, and I liked.
It's because of Will Smith, the slapper himself, the slapper in chief.
I don't think he's in that. I think,
No, he's in Jersey Girl.
I've never seen.
Yeah.
Chris Rock, though, there is a slap connection, slap-nection.
Dogma?
Yes.
Yeah, I like Dogma. Can't find it anywhere.
No, it's not available. That's
not
because
available.
Miramax owns it.
Right, and now I think Disney owns it.
Weinstein, the bad guy, still owns it.
Who?
Harvey something or other?
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, don't do that.
Also, don't look up William Hurt. There's a certain part of his. I think we talked about this last time. There's a certain part of his Wikipedia page you don't want to look at. And J.K. Rowling adds stuff to that part of her Wikipedia page every week.
Except she's not J.K. She means it. Good night. Ow.
Bye, everybody.
I have I have started laughing and then just, and nothing's funnier than pain. So as soon as it starts hurting, you just laugh more.
It's a cascade.
It is. It's a cascade effect.
It's the Medusa cascade. That's a Doctor Who thing. I was just thinking about how many dumb Doctor Who Osterhagen key. That's a thing that's in my brain, so I don't remember the capital of some fucking country or something, because I remember Osterhagen key from the season 3 finale of Doctor Who.
Yeah,
the worst finale of a season of Doctor Who, I think.
Is this
It's the one where the Doctor gets all old and then hold on.
Oh God, is it? Yeah.
Where
is it the one where he ends up in the birdcage?
Yeah. And not the movie with Robin Williams and
Hank
Nathan
Azaria.
Lane and Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria.
Agador Spartacus, baby.
Is that the one? Is that? Oh yeah, but is that the culmination?
It's the one where
of Saxon?
the first episode of it is so fucking good because it goes from Utopia, which is one of my favorite episodes of Doctor Who, where they reintroduce the Master and he's played by Derek Jacobi and he fucking knocks it out of the park and he's like this kindly doctor, this kind of just
the old dude, and then. And that's where.
Then there's the bug lady who's like, Chan, can I ask you a question though? And she says Chan and though before everything, and then at the end of the episode when he looks into the watch, from another great episode in the season.
Yes, that's such a good episode too.
And then it's just like there is no utopia, and it's he's like converting all these people into.
Who, especially Tennant. I am very curious to see what they do with Tennant.
Oh my God, I'm so curious. There's a new trailer came out like last week or something.
Yeah, I feel like I saw some of that. But the thing about that with like a lot of longer series, what did he do? Like 5 seasons or something crazy?
Russell T Davies was on for 4. David Tennant did 3, but it was over 5 years.
Okay.
And then
I knew the number
last
5
2 years. 2008 was
they were specials, right?
Right. 2008 was season 4, and then there were 2 years of specials leading up to David Tennant, the end of time when David Tennant regenerated.
Yeah, I don't want to go.
It was great.
It was heartbreaking.
It was great.
It was a little weird that he got like the swinging dick moment of just the farewell tour that he got to go around to everybody.
Oh yeah, it really is.
But he brought so many people back. My only problem is they're bringing back maybe my 3rd favorite Doctor and my least favorite companion.
You don't like Donna?
No.
What?
Dr. Donna can go to hell.
Look, they were like, I don't give a fuck about all that prophesizing stuff. I just liked that there was a companion that didn't want to fuck him. That was was so refreshing, and that she didn't take any of his shit, and she's like, "Oi, spaceman," and just making fun of him all the time. I loved that, and I think
they
that
did
they did that
good job with the ones who did want to fuck him. That's the thing.
Except for Clara. Clara stayed on a season too long.
Poor Clara.
Yeah, she got done dirty. Amy Pond, I mean, come on. What are you gonna do?
When she came back for the fucking when Matt Smith,
when they were both wearing wigs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes, they were.
Wigtown, USA, baby.
Hers was a lot better though. Hers was a lot better than
You
his.
think so?
Oh
I
yeah.
think she had a Cousin It vibe going on.
Are you saying that's bad? You don't like your Scots a little itty?
Well, I don't know. She could play Cousin It in the new Wednesday show,
She
which I
can do
watched.
whatever she wants.
She can do whatever she. Hey,
She
this is a
killed
PSA.
it in that. Yeah.
she can do whatever she
Yeah.
wants.
And
Everything
she
I've
killed
seen
it
her in,
in
she's
that,
great.
in that
Gunpowder Milkshake.
that she killed it in that.
Good times. And she was with a cast full of people
an
who regularly
amazing
kill it.
cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I still haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Neither have I. I'm waiting for it to come on something where I don't have to.
You can get
buy
a free trial
Showtime?
of Showtime.
I already
and
did
I'm
my
very
Showtime
close.
free trial to watch Yellow Jackets a few months ago.
You can do it under if you go like Paramount Plus or Hulu, one of those. You can do it within one of those apps.
So I have Paramount Plus for a month. They gave me a free month after my free week because I unsubscribed as soon as the free week was over. And they were like, "Oh, we hate to see you go. Here's a free
Yeah.
month on us." I'm like, "Okay,
Well,
dummy.
if it's gotta
Stupid
be that way.
motherfucker. I'm gonna watch
You wa-
everything that you,
you want
have that I
this?
want to watch,
I
and then
thought
I'm not gonna
I
come
thought
back."
you got what you needed out of a week, but okay.
I kind of did. I watched the show Evil. It's very fun with Luke Cage in it.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Luke Cage and Ben Linus from Lost. No,
He was here,
You didn't
and
see
he
Lost.
was fine.
Yeah, he's great. He plays a priest, and it's
I've
about
heard good things.
It's
I've heard good things.
it's very campy, but like
There's a lot of good. I will say there are a lot of good stand-up specials on Paramount Plus.
see now. I think I'm giving up on stand up as a medium.
But
I think I
that's-
don't. I think I'm
think we've
kind of
just
done.
Lost a lot of things to talk about. Possibly.
No, not comedy.
Okay. What is
Right.
it? What is it that has you?
It seems
going
too
off?
like a lot of them. A lot of stand-ups seem too needy. Like they're too. I understand you have to work the room, and you have to maintain a level of L's PM.
Yeah, laughs per minute. Yes.
There we go. But I don't know. It's I don't know. I like a more of a storyteller comedian, I guess, than a
Oh,
joke
yeah.
machine.
I
like
definitely agree. That's why Joke Machine is why I don't usually enjoy projects helmed by Tina Fey because she doesn't believe in
Yeah.
characters.
yeah.
Now, if the jokes are good enough, then
Yeah,
I could,
but
like, parts of
everybody's
30 Rock. Yeah.
well, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I mean, I'll take 30 Rock over The Office any day because again,
I can't watch The Office.
Neither can I. It's partially because of the cringe comedy, and it's just like I get that in my life. I don't need this. Also, it's
And also,
none of the characters
fake-
are good.
Yeah, and the fake documentary stuff drives me nuts.
There's
just like,
one
I
show
don't
that does
enjoy
it right, and
Yeah.
and it's Abbott Elementary. I think that like
I've
they
heard
have
great things.
they have a good reason, a good premise for there to be a camera crew. It's because they're doing documentaries or like a show or TV film series or some shit on underfunded schools in
I
America.
had heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I heard great things about it. I'm in the middle of listening to an interview with the writer of Fleischman is in Trouble. And
She has a weird name.
Taffy something.
Broadesser or something like
Yeah,
that.
I didn't know who she was, but she's been a professional writer for a long time. She writes she's on staff at the New York Times, which I think is one of the few writing jobs left where you go, "Oh, like
Yeah.
oh, that counts."
Right.
know?
Unless, but don't go to the editorial section.
No.
No, because that's full of bed bugs, like Brett Stevens.
No.
Yeah. No,
But
thank you.
no. But I am curious to read that book though.
The Fleischman book?
Uh-huh.
To see the
curious.
differences? Did we talk about the show on this?
I feel like we did.
No,
or
we
at
talked
least
about
we've
it in the
talked.
chat on
Oh,
Vaughn.
you're right. Then spoiler alert. needs to
Spoiler
go up
alert,
more.
we're still up.
I don't know this aspect of your personal experience, so I can only speak from my.
Did I
own.
ever date Claire Danes? No,
I feel like it would have come up before now.
probably.
And I'm like, Claire Danes, sure, but Lizzie Kaplan?
What, my opinion on her?
Oh, well, I'd go for, you're like, did I date Claire Danes? It's like, no, because Lizzie was like,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's, Yeah, I'm a big Party Down fan, and I'm very sad that she's not with the that she's
I'm
not coming
so
back.
sad, but the reason she's not with him is because she was shooting Fleischman.
No, that's fine. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's worth it. I think Party Down will be fun, but I
Oh
don't.
yeah, it'll be
I don't
great
know
fun.
if it'll.
I loved it. You know, I will go back to Party Down. I never noticed how great of an actor Kristen Bell was until I saw her on Party Down.
Oh,
When she's asking out Adam Scott's character, go back and rewatch it. It is heartbreaking because she's a super officious woman, and then
yeah.
suddenly,
No, I remember her.
yeah,
She doesn't she run the
yeah,
company,
yeah.
or she runs a
She's-
rival company, or
She
something
runs
like that?
she runs a rival company, and she comes up and she asks him out, and the way she does it is just heartbreaking. She's
I
like,
remember she was always wearing the headset.
yeah, and she's like, and she's going along, and she stops for a second. She goes, "I have a kid. He's quiet." You know, it's just like these little asides.
She's
It's
great.
amazingly done.
She was
She's
great on Deadwood.
I've never seen Deadwood.
Oh, it's up there. It's good
Swearington?
stuff. Swearington,
Swearingen.
or Swidgen, as Woo says, fucking Woo.
Old
It's
King
good.
swears a lot.
It's everybody swears a lot,
Yeah,
but he swears the most. He'll
Isn't,
he'll put a fuck somewhere it does not need
isn't
to be.
Raylan on there?
Yeah, yeah. He plays a marshal.
Do you know I see? No.
Yeah,
Does
no,
he
that's
really?
why he got the job on Justified. I think I'm convinced that
I've
oh,
seen
look at the
a
way he walks. He looks good in a hat. Let's
I've
make him
seen
Raylan.
promo shots of him for the new one.
I haven't seen any. I'm gonna
Yeah,
look
I
that up
saw
right
a promo picture, and he looks amazing as you'd expect. All the salt and pepper and the goatee.
now. Oh my God,
Yeah,
that Cobb Vanth. There's just he basically has been typecast. He's cornered himself into playing
Great career.
these just like kind of
Yeah. And he's not Southern. That's what's funny.
no, he's from like California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm checking in.
Yep, I'm looking at him.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
I got an
Still
ad.
got the hat.
Yep, I got an ad on. Instagram that the company that makes that hat is selling them.
What's the company?
You're asking such good questions.
Is it Scala?
I don't remember.
Scala?
The
Is it
next time I
Stetson?
see it. No, it's definitely not Stetson. I would have remembered that.
Hats in the Belfry?
No, that's that would be only if Paul Tompkins was involved.
Yes. Okay. This is a great segue.
Are you going back to the stand up?
Sort of. I finished this.
Did you finish it?
Today. Yeah.
You finished it?
I just finished it.
How are you doing?
I want to read it again.
I know.
Yeah, I want to read it again.
It might be better the second time.
I think it will, because there's like little bitlets.
There's
and,
so
and,
much
and I
going
was
on.
totally right about it being like, kind of a sort of WandaVision-y sort of deal.
Before WandaVision, of course.
Right. I mean, they definitely stole from this. I'm trying to find. Yeah. Okay. So on this page, there are it's like the last issue. So spoiler alert for real. And so it goes back to when he's like doing his escape acts,
Yeah.
and it cuts to audience members, and Paul F. Tompkins is in the audience. And then fellow podcaster Lauren Lapkus is right next to him. And then right here, Scott Aukerman.
So Freedom is in it.
Freedom is in it, and How Did This Get Made is in it, right above Mr. Miracle. It's Jason Mantzoukas. Because when it first caught my eye, because like Jason Mantzoukas is like visage is so distinguished.
He's
like
hard to miss.
it's hard to miss, and it's like, wow, that guy looks a lot like Jason Mantzoukas. And then I look next to him, and it's Paul Scheer with the gap and the head and everything. And then behind them is June Diane Raphael, and I'm like,
You sure
what the
hope
fuck?
the kids end up looking like her, not him. But that's,
he's not an unattractive guy, but she is like, he's punching above his weight. Plus, she's so funny.
You know, it's funny because I've heard him not like podcast, but like interview podcast, and he looks like he looks. Take it however you want. There is no self-deprecation in him at all. I'm not saying he's bragging or anything, but when he speaks, he doesn't like downplay the things he's done or
No.
what he did. He just talks about them. And because a guy who looks like that, you would think would try to play
Part of
things
the
off.
whole
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
would be, yeah.
But no, and I bet that helped because
I
I
bet
heard
it
him
did.
talk about like when it's like, yeah, we kind of circled each other and we were dating other people and we did this, and it wasn't like, and she took a chance on me or lucky me. It was just and then we decided to go out for a while. It was an unexpected approach, but so
I loved it.
yeah, I was going to ask, are we doing Mr. Miracle or are we doing Fleischman? Because both are worthy of discussion. I should, you know what? I take it back. Can we do Mr. Miracle next time, and I will reread it specifically for that, so it's fresh to
But I named the episode after having read it.
What's the name of the episode?
Can't you see it?
I can't.
Oh,
No, I see nothing.
well, then you'll just have to tune in.
I'll just have to tune in and find out. Yeah, and that whole thing in there where they're talking about redoing the apartment while they're fighting their way through.
I love it. Yeah. The humor in it is like really understated. It's not like how Marvel movies are now.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I will say one word. Stand.
Yeah. And I'll say another word. Stan Lee. Funky Flashman.
I thought you were going to say standing. I thought it was. It's been long enough that I might not pull as many details as you do, but I was genuinely taken with it and taken aback by it. Like I hadn't seen anything do that much with the form in so long. It's like that whole like that facetious bullshit of it's all been done. There's only so many. No, it hasn't.
Yeah, and even if you're in like, I think the stuff that was done in this book has been done in certain ways.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's all been packaged like this. And like it's like writing music.
Yeah,
all the music's basically ever been written. It's already been written, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try to fuck around and find, because
like all the sounds have been made.
That's
but
what I
they
mean.
haven't all been put
all
in
the
that
chords have been
direction.
played, all the
Yeah.
sounds have been made,
but
it's
so
up to you to.
facile because
Yeah.
there's so many. I am amazed at how long the song form has existed, and depending on your predilection, it goes back to the 20s and 30s, or it goes back to the teens, or it goes back to Gilbert and Sullivan, the century before. But in any event, over the course of 200, 300, however many years you want to say, so many subjects have not been covered because so very many songs are either about, lost love or angry at someone or righteous indignation. And there's so few, like, I don't know, adult meditations on true loss or desire, or like that's like the Lucinda Williams record Essence deals with adult, longing and lust in a way that is very rarely covered, I find, in anything resembling, not popular music, but popular music.
Pop music,
Yeah, lowercase p.
right? Not like Taylor Swift and Bad
no.
Bunny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hip, kids. TikTok. I'll do the dance.
I'm hep. That's like, yeah. I did enjoy making my 13-year-old very uncomfortable at breakfast the other day by what's that?
I'm just waiting to see how this. It's like there's a lot
You're
of ways
really
to make
hoping.
teenagers
It's like
uncomfortable. I'm just like
he's
it's right-
awfully,
I'm
it's like he shares a lot of my sensibilities, but he's awfully old and white. Like something's coming. Like it's like where's the trip up gonna be? Come on, man.
Yeah, just waiting for that other shoe
You're
to
just
drop.
waiting. This has been the long con the whole time for you.
It's for one of us certainly. No, okay. So
No. I was just using like fairly recent slang, and I don't even remember what I said,
did
but
you
it
say
made it.
cringe? Did you say something was so cringe?
Oh no, I forgot that. Would have been a great one. That would have made him so uncomfortable.
It made it. I really hate that
Yeah,
usage of that word.
I deeply dislike it.
Why not just because like there is a word that describes what you're saying, and it is so close to the word that you're saying, but you're using the word wrong. You're doing the word wrong
Like cringeworthy.
or cringy.
Yeah, that's pretty bad too, though.
It's
But
not
at least
great,
it's correct.
but like it's still a word technically. But I'm not a fucking linguist, and who cares?
this is too close to that's so fetch, and that
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
line of
Just
mangling.
cutesy fucking twee
Nah.
bullshit I don't know,
Now,
but
I
it's not
do-
for me.
No, I accept that. That's like when I've probably brought this up before because there's only so many stories. But the lead singer of the Hold Steady, I could see his name in my head, but I'm not pulling it for whatever reason.
Kanye West.
I'm just saying it's a really big number.
I'm not gonna. I'm not touching that. Not in that close proximity
Not-
to an actual Holocaust denier.
Not Kanye adjacent.
No. In like 5 minutes, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, give it time. It's fun to find your line.
Look, man. Yeah. my joke, bigotry next to an actual fascist.
Yeah,
that's a line.
pretty bad.
That's a pretty hard line.
That's like when people would send me I had a friend send me some like withering political cartoon about President 45, and she's like, isn't that amazing what they did? I'm like, not taking him seriously is a big part of the reason he got elected.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't. I'm like, yeah, we're like, yes, I'm fine, it's fine, everything's fine. So Fleischman,
Okay.
going back to Fleischman, the entire okay, major spoilers for the 1.5 people who might watch this. I would say save this episode, much like I did. I saved the Fat Man Beyond episode where Kevin and Mark Bernardin talked about Wakanda Forever until after I saw it.
Right.
Because
I do that with podcasts. Like
all the time.
The Weekly
Yeah.
Planet's a podcast I listen to, and I still haven't listened to the Avatar episode because
Why would you do that?
because I'm gonna go see it. Because
Are you?
I'm not gonna watch it on a fucking TV. If I have a PlayStation near me, and I'm not gonna sit down and fucking watch the second Avatar movie. So I'm gonna go to a theater where I'm trapped, and I have to watch it because I
There's
paid
something
money
to
for
that.
it.
There's something to that though.
Plus it's
movie-going
like
experience.
I hate 3D and I hate IMAX. I'm going to see this in IMAX 3D because if I'm going to see this movie, I'm going to see this fucking movie.
You know what I saw in IMAX 3D that was fucking glorious, and people bagged on this movie so hard, and I liked it. Not saying it was great. Was Tron Legacy?
Oh, the first of the Legacy sequels. I'm serious. Now they're all Legacy sequels.
Yeah, that's true.
Avatar
Actually, that's
could
the
be
point.
considered a Legacy sequel
Yeah,
because
no,
it took
no.
15 fucking years to come out.
I enjoyed it, and Bruce Boxleitner is a joy. He showed up for a minute.
Garrett Hedlund.
Is that his character's name?
I think that's the boy Tron.
Boy Tron.
Yeah.
We did have a joke going long enough. This was 2012. We referred to our second child as Tron Legacy for a minute, and actually there's this little thing that you have to. They can't blow their noses, so you have to squidgy out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I actually wrote TL on the bottom of it at the hospital. It made me laugh a lot. So Fleischman.
He sure is in trouble. Or is she
Is
the
she in
Fleischman that's in trouble?
Yeah.
Huh? And who's the good guy in the story? Not Jesse Eisenberg. He's a fucking prick.
He turns out to not be a great guy.
Adam Brody's the good guy.
He's a real
He's the best
great in
character.
that.
Or maybe his girlfriend? who's like really cool with him losing his job and
I
stuff.
might say, you know who's one of the good ones? Is Ted.
Ted Mosby. Fuck.
Is great.
Ted Mosby. And who knew that he could act?
He had that in him, yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was just like, boy, I got 2 dates. Oh no, what am I gonna do?
Exactly. I thought everybody, I thought the entire cast stepped up.
Everybody was great.
And,
Jesse Eisenberg, when he's in good shit, it's like it's really like a Nick Cage thing. It's like he's incredibly watchable when he's in good stuff.
It's like a lot of sporting teams, they say, rise to the level of competition. And I think I haven't finished listening to it yet, but the interview with the taffy person was very interesting, in that they said was it a plan of yours that all of the people in there we've known since they were teenagers professionally? And she's like, nope, that was planned. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Except for Ted Mosby.
I know. Yeah, well. Yeah. But I mean, we've known him for a long time too, though.
Known him for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. How I Met Your Mother was like 2003
I thought he was great, and he was right.
He was absolutely right.
Yeah. That's what got it. Like, that guy could have just been a put-upon guy who loses his shit and goes drinking with his friends, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's just
and then like ends up cheating or some shit.
None of
and
that.
then like
just like, we have a good life.
Right.
And I also enjoyed like the way that the Fleischman, the Mister, deals with her leaving by like, well, I guess we have this life now. We have to do this. And we find out that Kaplan's character disappeared for a while, like a couple of days or whatever it is, and comes back, and Mosby and the kids have just moved the fuck on. It's like, no, you don't get to just come back into our lives. Like, no, you stay over there. Like, we've got this figured out. No, I'm not telling you about the barbecue. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, man.
You know,
that's.
But
he did. Because it was in the fucking planner, and they probably talked about it weeks ago.
Yeah,
she was just up her own ass about some shit.
Absolutely. And I will say, this is going to seem like a strange thing, except that it's not. But
I've heard
it's not.
Stranger Things.
Still have not watched it.
Hold on.
Wait.
Stranger Things.
And then go to me. Did you say Stranger Things?
Okay, we're good.
Okay, good. So, I will say a very interesting thing with Kaplan in the part. It is the first time in her acting career, and I've watched her since Party Down, so I've seen her in a bunch of things. I enjoy her very much. She's also really attractive, and it's the first time that I have noticed that she's not in superb shape, like almost off-puttingly great shape. Like, like she's still gorgeous woman, but she's like, you know,
a normal person.
Yeah, like normal person.
She's a normal person. She looks like a normal person.
They all look like normal people, except Claire Danes always looks really, really, really thin.
But I think that's just
her.
I think her like she's just one of those people who is always thin.
Yeah. Well,
like,
she was amazing.
Who's the
in
other
Homeland.
one? Who's also just like a bird.
Charlie Sheen.
Woman. Speaking of Hot Shots Part 2, I watched Top Gun.
My answer. Oh, you watched Top Gun too?
I watched Top Gun, the new Top Gun.
I haven't seen it yet.
I also watched the first Top Gun for the first time.
I saw it in the theater.
It's the most 80s fucking movie that exists.
You know why? You know why? Because when we were in Pittsburgh, we were watching broadcast television. And do you know what was on broadcast television?
Tell me.
The most 80s movie of all the 80s movies of most 80s movies. Rocky IV, or as my wife has called it since I've known her.
Is that the Russian one?
Rocky Defeats Communism.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We found it, folks.
We got it.
Yeah. They see the only thing that makes Top Gun not the most 80s movie is because they don't talk explicitly about beating the commies. It's just an unnamed enemy, and you just assume it's the Russians. But you don't fucking know.
What I had forgotten about at the end of Rocky IV, after he beats Drago, Rocky gives a speech about togetherness and the stand-in for
And community?
Yeah, pretty much. And the Gorbachev stand-in joins the crowd in giving him a standing ovation, as opposed to just going, shoot him now. You know?
It's like, okay, take his fucking passport. Don't let him leave the country. You're in
Sure,
a Google,
sure,
you're in
sure,
a
sure.
gulag for,
Yeah.
let's say, a week. Then you can go home.
It is funny, though, because
Talking shit.
the way that those movies, there's a book to be written how Rocky went from this little tiny character study who in the first movie he doesn't win. It's not that he goes the distance with the champ. That's all. He goes the distance. And like it's a good little character study. And then there's like Rocky 2, which is kind of more of the same. And then like Rocky 3, Mr. T shows up and the Mr. T of it all. And then Rocky 4 happens and all this stuff happens and he goes in this, he eventually beats Drago by taking more punishment. And then the beginning of Rocky 5 is him in the showers after that. And then the rest of it is him dealing with the after effects and the brain damage from getting his ass beat by this 8-foot tall Russian guy. And then Rocky Balboa, the last movie, is a really nice little character study.
Huh.
Yeah. And then I haven't seen the Creed movies yet, and I've heard
Apparently
such
they're
great
great.
things. I've heard great. They've got Killmonger in them.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah. He's great. Wasn't he the Flaming Torch?
Yeah, he was Flamin' Hot Cheeto Man.
Flaming Hot Cheeto.
That's what we call the ex-president and maybe future president.
We do. Oh, don't talk like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Reality exists.
Stop it.
Spoiler
Spoiler
alert.
alert. Reality exists.
Spoiler alert. Fascism's on the rise.
Keep it
and
to yourself.
neoliberalism is only pushing us closer to that cliff. So
Sure.
yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Unless
so,
unless you change the fucking quality of life of people, they're not going to vote for you. So Fleischman, he sure is in trouble.
Yes.
How'd you feel about the ending?
I loved the ending. I loved the ending. I was really amazed. Going a bit before the ending. Oh, where were you with it?
I liked it. I liked it overall. Like
Yeah.
the full thing. I thought it was a bit on the nose that it ended exactly the way she said. Like the way that she wrote it. But then that kind of makes like the Mr. Miracle thing. Where it's kind of like, oh, so did any of this actually even happen?
Or how about the whole thing about Ted going, "You always come back"? Well, again, listening to her in an interview. I'm sorry, reading an interview. There's a great interview with the Taffy person and Lizzie Kaplan about it. And Kaplan is just as involved, because she's the star of it. Like, she's the narrator, and then it ends up being her story. But I was good with it. One thing they said was, Ted Mosby saying "you always come back." It kind of intimates like, is this something she's done before? The disappearing and coming back. Is this something that she does on the regular? Like
I think he had intimated that that she had done it before. Did I use that word right?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Or did he just say it?
Hinted at.
Yeah, and I was good with the ending. I was good with her coming back. I thought in the aforementioned interview, Taffy, they were talking about things about it and the ending, and she said she's been asked to go to speak at people's book clubs about the books, and they never like what she has to say about the story, so she stopped going. She's like, they don't like my idea. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, they don't like the idea. It's like, well, what happens to them? It's like, I don't necessarily think it goes well for them after she comes back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that a happy ending. Like,
No.
that's the writer saying that, and they didn't like that at all.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
you
pretty
can just
much.
read the book again and then imagine
Pretty
that
much.
we didn't have this conversation.
Imagine it however you
Yeah,
want.
I didn't write that part.
And
So
slash fiction is there for you.
yeah, it's there. That's what Reddit's for.
I thought the whole thing, them setting Claire Danes' character up to be the villain, and then you see everything from her point of view, was stunning.
Yeah.
Really, and the whole fucking thing about just the way she, the way she's violated by the doctor, and the way she gives birth, and all the, and when she, instead of going to the like the the post pregnancy group, to go to the trauma group, and
Yeah.
when she just utterly loses it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've been near or been involved in any traumatic, any traumatic, like birth related events, anything like that, and again, I can only speak from my experience, but in my experience, I'm not kidding when I say it's one of the best shows I've seen in ages. Don't watch it. Like, it's a hard watch. Worthwhile, deeply worthwhile, and not, art shouldn't necessarily be easy to watch.
Did you watch it week to week?
No,
Okay.
I watched it after it was out, and
Yeah, me too.
I binged it in a day and a half.
That's what I did too.
Yeah, and I don't think I should have.
Probably not. I think I should have let it breathe. I feel the same way about like Breaking Bad. I feel, especially if it's your first time watching that show.
I haven't made it. I've tried 3 different times. I haven't made it through the first. I haven't made it through the first season because it's so heavy.
It's heavy in a lot of ways. It's really like dense, like the storytelling. There's so much
I found
fucking
Fleischman very dense.
It was.
I thought
Yeah.
I had watched a lot more than I had, like time-wise. I'm like, I must have seen like 12 episodes of this. I'm on the 3rd episode.
Right. And
Jesus
there's only
Christ.
9 or whatever.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 or 8. But I thought that because I had read before I saw it, they read about like, there's already Emmy talk for Claire Danes, and then I watched it. I'm like, oh yeah, like that's a hard watch if you've been near anything like that, let alone gone through it. So it's, yeah, it was, and I thought that was another thing that was masterfully done. I thought I didn't think they'd be able to, because of course I'm watching it and I'm wondering, like, they're not just going to make her the villain. Like, what are they going to do with this?
No, and I think that it may be because the binge method of it, maybe you can see that there is kind of like, oh well, we're definitely going to hear, well, as soon as you hear that she's been spotted in the park napping on a bench, and it's like, okay, so we're gonna hear about that. We're gonna hear about that, and like there will be a different perspective, and like Jesse Eisenberg's behavior becomes less and less excusable. Mm-hmm. Like, he can only blame so much of his dysfunction and his shitty way that he is. I don't really know how to, I mean, it's just, he's kind of a douchebag. I mean, that's just kind of it, right? Like, he's just kind of an entitled, kind of solipsistic douchebag, and like everything that happens to him.
Yeah.
And he is always the victim.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, but like the way, like, for example, I think a really good example of this where they show both sides of, is when that guy offers him a job, and then he thinks that they were like plotting behind his back or some shit, and then you just see it was casually brought up in a conversation, and then she was like, okay, well, he's gonna resist. I mean, it was like, it was his idea. She didn't, but she didn't say don't do it. Yeah. Because why would you say that? That
wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But then the whole thing about, like, they're having a wonderful carefree time together, and then he just says, "You're not any fun. I'm gonna leave," and she's just like crushed all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the beef lo mein. Jesus Christ, that whole
Yeah, man.
sequence.
Dude, that episode was fucked. That was like the 7th one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the big one. That was the one that they've talked about, and I'm like, well, what's the big deal? What's gonna that's what's gonna happen.
That was.
Yeah.
There was definitely a breaking point, and fuck,
And it
man.
broke. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I'm trying to see if it won any trophies.
Golden Globes
Yeah.
or Critics' Choice. Did you see that our
Banshees of
queen?
Inisherin.
What's that?
Sorry, what were we gonna say?
Oh, is that the
That's
that
the Martin McDonagh, Brendan Gleeson, Colin Farrell.
That's the same one who did In Bruges, right?
In Bruges and 7 Psychopaths and 3 Billboards. I haven't seen 3 Billboards, but I saw.
I watched In Bruges fairly recently. I didn't love it.
Was it your first time watching it?
No, I think I saw it way back when. I thought it was good, but not. I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily look for the things in movies that they're looking to put out all the time. So I think a lot of when you see something, or your mood when you see something, it's kind of like I've seen so many movie reviews where they're just shitting on a movie and I can't believe these people end up together, and you realize, oh, well, this critic doesn't like romantic comedies. Why did they send him to this one? You know? So I will say I rewatched How to Be Single recently. It was just there, and I watched it. It's the Nepo baby, Melanie Griffith and Dakota Johnson
Okay.
is great in it. If you haven't seen that whole like Vanity Fair thing of like it's a fairly comprehensive guide to all the nepotism babies, all the people who.
Oh
like,
no, I know what you're talking about. I don't know. I didn't know there was an article. I just thought it was just a thing that basically a meme of a topic.
Yeah, no,
where
there's a
it's
whole
just-
article with like infographics and whatnot. It's something. But
Jamie Lee
she-
Curtis was like, this is just a thing to try to make people feel bad and take them down. And it's like,
Sure.
Jamie Lee Curtis, be quiet.
Aren't
what are you
you one
doing?
of those?
It's
Yeah,
just we're just pointing out
Yeah,
that a lot of
it
Hollywood,
happened.
it happens in politics too.
Yeah.
It's an American thing. We love
If
a
you're-
fucking dynasty.
If your dad's a plumber, you have a better chance of being a plumber.
Right.
You know, it's or as opposed to Brian Williams' daughter, who actually has a pretty good acting career.
She was just on Comedy Bang Bang.
Was she really?
Yes.
How
And
very
she
odd.
is incredibly charming.
Is she?
And
I'm
like
not surprised by
she's game. I mean, she's a fan of the show, so
that. Yeah. You know who was really game was Lizzie Kaplan showed up on Conan's podcast. And I find Conan's podcast touch and go.
Yeah, I'm
Because-
never going to listen to it. I love Matt Gorley, but even Matt Gorley will not make me listen to that podcast.
Wow. Are you anti-Conan? This is the first I've heard of it.
I
And
like
I'm
his
not
show.
I'm not saying I'm a huge fan. I don't love people who aren't necessarily that funny, just talking, doing things like that. And he's not. He's kind of funny.
Right.
but-
I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. I think,
Like, I like Andy Richter's podcast a lot more, even though I would never say I was a fan necessarily. I enjoy him talking to people. The 3 questions, it can be quite good. It can be.
there's too many
it-
podcasts.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not a hill I'm willing to die on. None of the Team Coco stuff is.
I think it's a matter of being an adept interviewer, being able to navigate those waters. And I think Conan, when he's with it's like, I feel the same way about Colbert. When Colbert has his friends on or someone he really admires on the show, then the interview is really, it's quite good. But when
I
it's
enjoy
just,
him.
when
I like
it's
him
just
very much.
someone promoting some shit, it's some
so
it's some real boring, by the book Jay Leno bullshit.
I find the whole talk show thing.
It's I feel the same way about that I do about stand up, where it's just like
Oh, yeah, go back
don't
to
know
that.
if I like this delivery method for
the
comedy.
means of conveyance.
It really depends. Like I think John Oliver really runs like a tight ship when it comes to that, and even that I don't really watch anymore.
Are you talking? Oh, you're talking talk shows. I thought we were talking stand up.
No. I'm going back to that. So
I liked what I
think
saw of his show, but I'm more interested in him. Like when he had his New York City stand up show, and Oliver would come out at the beginning and do 5 or 10 minutes. I'm like, why isn't he just doing stand up?
Yeah, he's very funny.
He was,
and he's great on
uniformly
Community.
great. He was great on Community.
He's great. He was like a main character in season 5. Season 5
hashtag-
is an unsung hero of Community because it rewrited the ship after the gas leak year.
Is that the one where Harmon came back?
Yeah, repilot. It's the first episode of the 5th season. It's very good.
There were some good things about the Harmonless season.
I wouldn't know because I blocked it from my memory. Apparently, the puppet episode was nominated for a thing.
It was pretty great, if memory serves.
I don't know. Jeff's dad was Robert Forster. He was supposed to be Bill Murray.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm. That's what Harmon was going to try to get.
Was he off busy like?
No, they just didn't. I don't think they asked.
Well, that's what you get.
Yeah, when you get fired from your show. Yeah, from your baby.
So going back to the stand-up thing. Though,
yeah, so like the storytellers like a Paul F. Tompkins, like a John Mulaney. I do like.
I love.
But I think it just depends. Like people whose.
Can you believe I'm fucking Olivia Munn?
No, I can't, Spider-Ham. I sure can't. It's
I
okay.
Swear,
I swear, it's just water. I just washed my hands.
Have you seen the preview for Across the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch anything else. It comes out in June or July.
June.
Are you saying Dune or June? Because June comes out in September.
June.
June.
They should have put it out in June so it could be June.
That'd be so good. And then my Australian podcast friends, the Weekly Planet, have a bit where they say, "Are you saying June or June?" Because they say Dune wrong. Because they say June.
Those Australians.
They are just a bunch of fucking criminals.
Tofop.
30-odd foot a pod.
And there was when I want to say when Barrett was in Australia, he was on there because I found out about Tofop through his old podcast with Dave Anthony. The Pod Cuddle.
Wait. What? He had a podcast with Dave? Is that why Dave is on Fofop so often?
Yeah.
Huh.
No. Greg Barrett. Not Charlie Clausen.
Okay.
Not Clausen. I could see it in my head, but I can't remember the name of it now because I'm very tired.
Wait, no. Walking the Room?
Yes.
Oh,
Welcome back.
No.
to
I
Walking the
know
Room.
that one. Yeah.
I have my Reigning Monarchs T-shirt that I can't wear anymore, so I gave it to my 13-year-old.
You can't wear it because it got canceled?
No, because I got hugely fat.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Wait, didn't Greg Barrett have cancer?
Yes, he had it while he was diagnosed while he was in Australia, and had to fly back from Australia to America on
Speaking of Wakanda Forever.
Forever. Oh, ooh, too soon. No,
Hey,
not too
it's
soon.
too late.
Never too soon. Way too late.
It's way too late.
Should have said something sooner.
Hey.
Hindsight being 2020, watching him in anything after Civil War, and it's like, oh, Boseman isn't like he was pretty bulky in Civil War, and he just was not in that kind of shape after that.
He was pretty fucking fit in Black Panther. Those shot around the same time.
Yeah, did they?
Within a year, or within 2 years.
Any other appearance of his, he looks a lot thinner, and it's noticeable. And they had stuff like on press tours where he was falling asleep and things it's just
Fuck,
hard.
man, but the fact that he was still doing that shit and still getting into fucking better shape than I'll ever be in.
Sure, absolutely.
Unless I'm paid by Disney to get into shape. Pay me, mouse.
Kamel me, motherfucker.
And he, Mr. Mouse, and he was visiting kids in hospitals who had cancer. You know, in like T'Challa outfit.
Yeah.
He wouldn't put on the Black Panther suit, but you know, he would like dress up as T'Challa or.
I know what you mean. There was a whole thing after the movie came out. One of the talk shows had a bit with him where
It's probably Jimmy Kimmel.
I think you're right, but it was a really good bit.
Oh, where
they were talking to the screen, like, what would you do if Chadwick Boseman was here? And these people would say these really beautiful, really beautiful.
I think I saw that. I think it was Kimmel. Kimmel does shit like that.
And then he'd come out and they'd lose their fucking minds. And you know what? I know it's cheap, but it's also not cheap.
Yeah.
Like they're, because,
yeah.
Because it's like, no, because it's important that I tell you that representation matters.
Look, man, I do feel that way about Marvel movies. I just don't think.
What, you don't want more white guys named Chris?
Are there any more?
I mean, I'm sitting right here. No. Right here, fuckers. Right here. No, I can't get in that kind of shape. I'll snap in half. Are you kidding? Although I will say one thing, like every once in a while, you know how you can try to relate to things, but you can't really until it happens to you. I've seen people like, yeah, that guy went in and yeah, it turns out he had a few cracked ribs and he just went and did that. No, he fucking didn't, because you can't breathe. Yeah. Like I found myself like being winded, like walking too far, because you're like, even if it's not hurting you at that second, if you've butted up against something enough times, you will, without even consciously realizing it, you will stop yourself from going too far. So I have to make a point to take deep breaths, because otherwise I won't, because the pain response is like, don't keep going there, it hurts. Yeah. So like you just run out of air. And like I found myself getting winded. I'm like, these motherfuckers who like go around and do stuff with cracked ribs, like, you're crazy. You're also young, so that's different. But
yeah, squishy, bendy.
Squishy bendy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's that. So anyway, Fleischman. Yeah. No, I thought it was it was the kind of thing that's good enough that as soon as I was done watching it, spoiler alert, I went looking for interviews with the people involved. And the one that I found with her and with Lizzie Kaplan was great. They're not always great, but these things were great. Like I'm not ready to be done with this yet. Like after I saw Wakanda Forever, and I went back and listened to those podcasts I'd been saving. It was kind of nice, like to have a little more time.
Right, supplemental material, Absolutely. And you get other takes on it and stuff. Yeah, I don't understand people who look at like reviews and shit. Or like listen to like really long reviews before seeing the thing for themselves.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Like I understand the urge to want more, but no.
Right. Or like and that's different than like a word of mouth sort of deal where like you hear a movie's good or you hear something's like I heard Banshees of Inisherin was good. And? So I knew I was going to watch it eventually, and I liked it. Yeah.
I mean, I heard the gist is the friendship. Like the guy just like no.
Yeah, pretty much. That's like first 5 minutes. It's just like we're not friends anymore, and it's like it's a meditation on adult friendship and on like looking down the barrel of time and it's not a lot happens in it. It's a very character driven thing. I mean, a bunch of shit happens in it because it's a fucking movie, but it's just like it's well done. I mean, but I think I'm just predisposed to like everybody involved in that movie. Martin McDonagh. I've liked everything of his that I've seen.
I think Farrell has had a very interesting back half to
How about
this part of his
a
career.
very interesting 2022? Because right after I watched that, I was like, you know what other movie Colin Farrell's in from this year? The Batman.
Oh, he was so great in
And
that.
he was so good as fucking Oswald Cobblepot.
Yeah, he was great.
Like, disappears into the role. I have
He
to keep
absolutely does.
looking. I'm like, is that is, are you, did you, are you fucking with me? That's Colin Farrell. Okay, it's Colin Farrell.
And I will say I need to go back and watch that movie again.
It's very good. It's long, but
it's
like
long.
it's fucking tight. Like it is a tight,
Yeah.
2 hours 55
like
minutes.
the last hour of that almost felt like it could have been a second part. Not like a full second part.
Yeah.
Like an intermission, and then here's this other shit that happens with the water. Like
Right. Which it's actually not the last hour. It's only 30 minutes.
is it really only 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Because that
It's just
felt
it's a
longer.
lot. Like I like when that happens, when, the Riddler's locked up and the seawalls break.
Yeah.
That's just 30 minutes.
And the
so
whole
he spends
fight up there and the not venom that he puts in himself when he's like losing and
Yeah.
there's a lot to that. I got to go back and watch that again. I actually thought that movie is kind of underrated.
It was very good. I think it was easily the best comic book movie to come out last year.
It's real good. Wait, what else came out last year?
All the Marvel bullshit. So you got your
Wait, does that include Spider-Man?
no, but the Batman is better than Spider-Man because it's a
You
movie.
really think so?
Yeah, it's a movie. Yeah, it's a real movie, and there aren't. No one stands in front of the camera out of breath waiting for the theater to stop clapping. It's not a fucking theme park ride. It's the first half or like the first hour of Spider-Man No Way Home is a movie. There's stuff happening, there's actions, there's consequences, and like the plot is leading towards stuff. Then it seems like Kevin Feige was like, here's what's going to happen in this movie. And then you have to spin a web, of content in between them and just connect them. So we're, and
Is that why Sam Raimi did what he did on the anti-fan service thing in Doctor Strange?
I loved. See, now I thought Doctor Strange was more of a movie.
No.
Than it was more.
no.
It was
No.
it was more of
No.
a fucking movie. Yes, it
No.
was, and it looked like a movie
Wait,
at times.
I'm sorry.
Spider-Man
Spoiler
No
alert.
Way Home.
No.
Spider-Man No Way Home looked like they had just how when you were in school and I'm taking a lot of liberties assuming that you were a bad student, and you would just finish something the morning that it was due. Or some shit like that.
Sure.
That's
In
what
the car on the
Spider-Man
way
No
home.
Way
Yeah.
Home looked like at parts.
You're not wrong.
And
Like,
I feel
people
like
losing
some
their
of
minds
Doctor
with
Strange
certain
looked
things.
like that, but they had enough actual sets that they used
Yeah.
to, I mean,
There were things I you know what, that's one that I might have to go back and watch again.
and it's short. It's under 2 hours. It's the first Marvel movie under 2 hours since
haven't been able to
Age
do
of
that.
Ultron.
In a minute.
Maybe Ant-Man?
Wait,
Maybe
did you just say
Ant-Man was
something
under.
that you liked about Age of Ultron? I was not expecting that.
No, I did not. I just said that since Age of Ultron, they've all been over 2 hours, which is also a bad thing that Age of Ultron did.
See, I liked Age of Ultron, but we've talked about that.
I liked it when I saw it in the theater, but I won't lie that as time went on that week, I was just like, feels like there's something else
I
that
wonder
should have
about-
happened or less should have happened, but
I
the
wonder what
middle
I'll
ground
think.
wasn't right.
Going back, I wonder what I'll think of Spider-Man when I see it for the third time.
Yeah, I think around the third time is when it happened for me, where it's just
funny.
look, and don't get me wrong, I love it.
Yeah.
I do. I love fucking Spider-Man. I love fucking him. We have sex all the time, me and Spider-Man.
I've heard that.
John Spider-Man.
John Spider-Man.
I like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies were like the shit. Like I
Spider-Man
can't.
2 was
Spider-Man
my
2
favorite.
Spider-Man 2 is still a
superhero
really
movie.
good comic book movie, and
The
it is.
fucking
I think
the subway when he's got the thing and he stops
yeah,
the train.
it's incredible.
Passes out.
The
Hey,
fight on at the bank where how about when he throws a fucking car at a cafe? All of that
Yeah.
shit. It's dope. That's like it's. I think it set it's the standard for comic book movies until Iron Man and the Dark Knight came out, and then
Yeah.
they ruined comic book movies for everybody.
I'm so irritated still by people filleting the Christopher Nolan movies so much.
The Dark Knight is a great crime movie,
Yeah.
but the Batman, Christopher Nolan's Batman, is a bad Batman. He's
an
bad at
idiot.
being Batman, and he's dumb, and he keeps getting stabbed or attacked by
much.
dogs. And like, what's your excuse? Well, I guess by the Dark Knight, he'd only been Batman for 6 months, and so
Didn't he
his
learn
Batman
anything?
was only Batman for 6 fucking months, and then
Yeah.
he retires for
Yeah,
8
that-
years.
And then he gets
And then he
leg
comes
thing.
back and magically finds his way out of a hole. That movie's bad.
Sure.
It's a
Yeah,
bad
no,
movie.
that's a bad movie.
It's a bad one.
I actually what they got wrong there. I enjoyed
they made it?
about yeah, well, but in the Batman, like I enjoyed that he wasn't quite like Bruce Wayne.
He's
wasn't
afraid
quite
of
a
heights.
person. Yeah,
He's afraid of heights. It's so funny. Like there's so many funny fucking moments that happen in that movie that like I didn't like. He's in Catwoman's apartment, and you know he's like it's been ransacked or whatever, and he's looking around, and he's like, there's like a beat, like 10 seconds of silence where like
I know
she's
it.
looking.
Wait,
and
can
then-
I do it?
Yeah,
Can I
yeah,
do
yeah.
it? You got a lot of cash.
Yeah, it's so fucking funny. It's so good. A lot of shit like that. Like Bruce can't find his fucking cufflinks, and then Alfred gives him his cufflinks, and he's like, "Don't give me your cufflinks." It's like you don't have to have these moments in there.
Yeah.
And they fucking work. And like
I
I
liked him
loved
under a train station. I love when he's in the room trying to fight his way out. There was a lot. I like. Do you know who I am? Like I enjoyed that. Like when he showed up at the place as Bruce Wayne.
yeah.
You know, but he's not like the vacuous thing that I think he puts on, because obviously Pattinson's a good actor,
He's a terrific actor. Yeah.
worked so well for that, because that guy is so damaged by the loss that he witnessed that the only way he can process it is by turning himself into a hand of vengeance and
Right.
dressing as a bat.
It's so well done. They don't do the cardinal sin of a Batman movie where they show the fucking origin. It's just like, you know who he is. He's already Batman. He's been doing Batman for 2 years.
It sounded like you said he's Artie Batman. Hey, everybody, it's Artie Batman.
Hey, it's me, Artie Batman, hit character from Detective Comics. What are you doing over there? You want a sandwich?
Bob Kane.
I'm Artie Batman.
And Bill Finger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they finally no, it's Bob Kane with Bill Finger.
Yeah,
Because
you're
Bob
right.
Kane was like, "Hey, I think there should be a guy who's Batman," and Bill Finger was like, "Okay, I'm going to create his backstory. I'm going to design his costume. I'm going
Did he
to
do that much? Was that all him?
Yeah."
Was
yeah.
it really?
He made him a billionaire playboy who saw his parents murdered. Bob Kane wanted the outfit to be like red and purple.
I remember that.
And-
Is that why they did the Batman of Zar-El or whatever it was?
I think so. I think that was
crazy-
a nod
Grant
to
Morrison-
that.
Grant Morrison.
Whenever
is
I
a
see that
maniac.
whenever I see that cover, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And I
is
think
a
they're
maniac.
doing a sort of nod to that in the Flash movie that's never going to come out, because that is a Batman movie essentially. But
Yeah.
Ezra Miller won't stop doing terrorism to
Yeah.
people. he keeps
And
he terrorized all of Hawaii for a month.
I know, and they already cut Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot from that because of bullshit.
I think they had Ben Affleck in it. Mm-hmm. Then they cut Ben Affleck out and put Michael Keaton in. Then they cut Michael Keaton out and put Ben Affleck back in. Something like that. It's fucked. It's so fucked. They just shouldn't release the movie. Release Batgirl instead.
They can't release Batgirl. There's a there.
Now, yeah,
No,
now they
no,
can't.
no. I mean, there's some kind of weird tax break that they got.
No, I
The
know. So they
yeah,
can't. They
yeah. They
actually
literally
can't. They
can't.
literally
Yeah.
can't now that they have said that that is a loss and that they're not
Yeah.
releasing it. Yeah, no. Now that they announced it, they can't release it. But you should have just put it out and
Yeah.
then fucking stopped with the Flash nonsense.
You're not
But
wrong.
someone who
Or just put Tig Notaro in it.
right, or the guy who looks exactly like Ezra Miller but isn't a criminal, who is in the Banshees of Inisherin and is
Or
in the Batman
or the
as the
guy.
Joker,
Wait,
Barry Keoghan.
is that? See, I was gonna say that the suggestion I've heard a million times is just do the Flash from the television show.
No, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
That's what you should do. You should just make Grant Gustin the Flash.
Yeah.
In the
yeah.
movies, like the show's over, he's 30.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And he's good as that. And like, imagine what he could do with a movie budget
Sure.
as opposed to a shitty CW budget.
Yeah. I started watching a weird show on Hulu from like 2008 called Eli Stone.
I remember when that was on. I think I saw some of it when it aired.
It's got Sherlock Holmes in it.
Which one?
Doing an okay American accent. The good one, the one from Elementary. Johnny.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, now a lot of people would say that the good one is the guy who ruins things, Stephen Moffat. His Sherlock. And
Is
I
that
would
the one with
posit
Cumberbatch?
yes,
As
Bendy
Kevin
Dick
Smith.
Cumbersnatch.
Yeah, copyright Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Called him Cumberbatch, which makes me laugh. I couldn't make it through the first one of those.
Right,
so-
and the first one is the best one.
Well, I'll never know, I guess.
No, I mean I'm telling you, it is, and
But I
so
quite
you
enjoyed,
you,
like-
you were good to get out because
Yeah.
it was a sunk cost thing. But by the end of season 3 or like halfway through season 3, I was like, this might not be good, but I've
Yeah.
seen so much.
Yeah.
and
I've watched a few seasons of Elementary, and not being much for procedural shows, I really enjoyed it.
they are
Mainly-
great together.
It's so great. Now, Aidan Quinn's ever-moving hairpiece is a little distracting. The guy who plays the policeman who he's the
Lestrade.
no, not Lestrade, but the equivalent of Lestrade in America. Aidan Quinn, his hairpiece is doing all kinds of strange things throughout it. It's almost like in Moonlighting, where they do the continuity things on purpose, where Bruce Willis would have the shaving cream on different parts of his face as they came back. Like, it's so bad. Like, his hairpiece is so bad. But all that being said, he's quite good in it. I want to say I made it to like the 3rd season. It's just so many episodes.
Too many episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
American
made it to the
television.
2nd season.
Quite
When
good. Did you make it up to
Moriarty shows up,
yeah,
Yeah.
with the girl with the
the girl from Game of Thrones.
yeah, with the how can the world's greatest detective not notice how shitty her American accent is? But
Oh my
otherwise,
god. But she's British though in the show, right? Okay,
oh, yeah.
so that was something that did put me off because I was like, wow, her accent's terrible. It's like, oh, it's an on purpose terrible accent.
You know what it reminded me of? Do you remember the character? Did you ever watch any classic Doctor Who?
Very few.
There was one character who talked like this. Her name was Perry, and her American accent has to be the equivalent of what cheerio pip pip sounds like to English people when they hear us do that. Because and the director didn't. She came in doing that voice, and the director thought she was American. I'm like, well, the director has never met an American because it
Yeah.
was so bad. It was everything was
Yeah.
like this.
I've that happens in present day Who as well. There was a guy who was in one of the Jodie Whittaker seasons, is the most recent one I can think of, where he was like basically they did a Donald Trump. They just like had the bad guy of the episode was Donald Trump, but in the future.
Yeah, but it was Chris Noth.
What?
Is that the one you're talking about? They had him on Doctor Who, and he basically did Trump.
I Hold on.
Please hold.
Please hold it. No. Vamp.
Da 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 boom ba doom. Beady deep badly bip ba dip. Deep dop doobity beep ba deep. Do do doodly doo. Do do doodly doo.
I think you may be right.
It's happened on occasion. Do-loo-loo-doo.
Yeah, the one with the spiders. Yeah.
Although, you know the one that was great? Do you remember when Anthony Head showed up?
Wait, is he American?
Chris Noth?
Yeah, he's from
he's
fucking
American.
Wisconsin. Why was his accent so bad? What's happening? Okay. Well,
I didn't
then
notice that.
defeats my fucking thing.
Well, it happens. Don't let it get you down. It's only castles burning.
I'm gonna drink to death now.
What are you gonna do? What did you drink in there? Are you drinking wine out of the bottle?
Some sort of liquid.
That is often your answer. A screw top liquid?
Sake.
Sake to me?
Sake. Gekkaikan. The finest sake.
Are you actually drinking sake?
Yeah.
Oh,
Plum wine. It's plum wine, man.
is it?
It's actually rice wine, but they do make
Yeah.
it out of plums sometimes.
I don't know, as an adult, since I started enjoying alcohol semi-professionally, if I've ever had sake. Like, I was offered it at a sushi bar in my 20s, and I was not really drinking then.
Yeah. You hadn't found your purpose in life.
Yeah, as opposed to, like, I was like, well, you can do
Well,
pain meds, or you can
mommy.
have vodka. Yeah. What? Who?
What? I'm sorry. That was my Ronnie impression. Well, mommy, let's deny AIDS. Well, let's fuck over the unions, mommy. The greatest president ever. He got that fucking airport named after him.
I heard somebody say that in a room that I was in.
As
You
a
know,
bit?
No, this person wasn't aware of the concept of bits, so. But ain't
Well,
that some shit?
they can't be. They thought Reagan was a good fucking president. Got him.
That thing that you said, got him. I put them on blast.
Gotcha, Reagan. That'll show him.
That'll show.
Died
him.
of old age, comfortable.
Yeah, and didn't know.
Didn't even know. He couldn't even. He didn't even like get to witness the suffering he wrought through his policies because he was too fucking incoherent, or his brain was pudding.
Yes.
Pudding brain.
That's the medical
Planet of the
terminology.
pudding brains.
So, in closing, what have we learned today?
Well,
And also, what is your fucking deal?
oh, okay.
We still need to get a guest on so that we can ask that very important question. What's your fucking deal?
We can just tell them that that's what you'll have. That's great.
It stays funny even in milk. I
Oh shit.
Yeah, I agree. Shit. I do not know if I will be along. Not to date stamp this too terribly, for the person and a half.
I mean,
watch
there's
it.
literally a date stamp below
Yeah,
the video, so
whichever. I do not know if I will be along for tomorrow or not.
okay.
It is possible, but I
I'll
don't.
be there. Let's see. Any closing thoughts, closing statements, any plugs? You got any plugs?
No.
Okay.
And how many open mics are you running at this point?
I'm up to 2 this week. I think next week I start my 3rd.
What nights and what locations are these?
They are